Steve. Time flies when you're going through things, good and bad, right?
Yeah, I can't believe, really, that it's been a year already. I remember the first show we had in the old studio. It was raining that first day.
And there were tech disasters, and we've come a long way.
That's right.
A long way, and beautiful.
Stopped raining, and there's no tech disasters.
That's right. That's right. And Steve, why don't you update us on Steve Ludwig's classic pop culture? Just the other day, I used a lot of your videos on Legends Radio, Tommy James and Billy Paul, Question Mark from Question Mark and the Mysterians, Cyril Neville from the Neville Brothers. Tell us about your show as well.
Well, it's on planetludwig.com. And this Tuesday night coming up, we have friends of the show here, Cody Mundi.
I love
Kid
Cody.
Creole and the Coconuts and the Savannah Band. And our friend Gary DiCarlo of Steam. We have Leslie Gore coming up at the end of the month.
Wow.
And actress Mary Badham, she played Scout in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Awesome.
So yeah, and I thanks for on legendsradio.net for putting some of my interviews on this past couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And how does it feel to reach a baby boomer market where, you know, you have heroes that they can relate to? Do younger people enjoy it as well?
Yeah, you know, I teach. I'm an 8th grade teacher. And my students listen because Mr. Ludwig is on the radio, you know. But a lot of the people that I have on, when they hear their songs, they say, oh, I know those songs. My grandmother listens to that music. Right. Don't get wise with their parents thing. But yeah, I mean, you know, a good song is a good song. And you know, younger, I have mostly a baby boomer audience, don't get me wrong, demographics. But yeah, some of the teenagers listen to it. And my ex-students' brothers and sisters listen to it. And,
wow.
Yep.
And you're about to retire from the New Jersey school system after how many years?
38 years.
38 years.
Yeah.
So you must have mixed emotions, I would gather.
It is bittersweet. I mean, first of all, I had a full head of hair when I started.
And the kids took care of that.
I had my sanity when I started, so both are gone. So I think it's time. I do have mixed emotions. I mean, it's funny, the kids are never the problem. The students are never the problem. It's all the bureaucratic stuff that
Just remember, you're still employed, Steve. Watch what you're saying.
I love the Board of Ed and the bureaucracy of the whole thing, until June anyway. No,
That's
but
right.
you know, the kids, you wish you could just close your door and teach and not have to put up with all the other stuff around, but that's life, you know.
Yeah. I've found that for the most part, teachers are very devoted and for much of their career made very little money. And teaching originally was a profession for women, so it was considered a second income, and they were paid terribly and treated terribly until, you know, recent years when the salaries have gotten better. But I'm sure it was a tough road early for you.
Yeah, I mean, I started at $10,300.
What'd you do with all that money? Yeah.
I bought supplies.
That's right.
For my class.
That's right.
Yeah, if you hang around long enough, well, first of all, I mean, you don't go into teaching to make money.
Right.
You do it for the love of teaching and the love of students and things like that. But if you hang around long enough, aside from it being a noble profession, you know, it helps pay the bills.
And they say do what you love and the money will come later, which is the case. I mean, you started at 10 grand and obviously things got better over the years.
Yeah, I'm up to 11.5 now.
That's right. That's right. I taught kids in the 1980s. I quit in 1985. And the year I quit, I had a bottom 6th grade class, a miserable principal, and I was making $21,900. And I just said to myself, why am I here? Yeah. So I left at Christmas. I said, have a nice vacation, kids. They're still waiting. That was 1985. I never went back.
They're still waiting with your New Year's gifts.
That's right. That's right.
They're sitting there with the presents wrapped up for you.
They're still telling the story how their teacher disappeared and was never to be found again.
Is Mr. Ginzburg still alive?
But anyway, over the years, we both moved on to other things, and I am associate producer on the film 350 Days, which is a pro wrestling documentary about being on the road 350 days. Teachers work 180, 190 days, which is a lot nicer than being in a car or a plane or a train 350 days. Yep. So tough. It's tough on the families, it's tough on the kids, it's tough on the body, the psyche, and you're a wrestling fan.
I love wrestling. I'm really, I mean, I go back to Bruno Sammartino days, you know.
Bruno was one of my childhood heroes.
Yeah, mine too.
Bruno, Bruce Lee, Clint Eastwood, until I learned his politics.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know, he's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
The ugly,
As far as
the
Clint
ugly is
Eastwood
the politics.
Yeah, exactly. You know, speaking of 350 days, a couple weeks ago, last week on my radio show, I had Fulvio Cesare and Darren Antola, two of the producers. I know
Yeah,
you're
my
involved
buddies,
with it.
yeah.
And I teach in North Bergen, and Fulvio Cesare was in the movie Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe.
Right.
The movie's about James
He was the
Braddock.
referee.
Yes, he was the referee. And the movie's about Cinderella Man is James Braddock, and he's from North Bergen. And my school is about 4 blocks away from James J. Braddock Park. So it's funny how I would have Fulvio on my show to promote 350 days, and yet he's got that kind of
Right.
abstract connection to North Bergen.
And he's acted in hundreds of films, and he's directed, and he's the director on 350 Days. And folks, we're going to show you a clip from this film, which is now on Indiegogo.com. You could support it. The upcoming documentary, star-studded, as you'll see, 350 Days. Yours truly, the associate producer. Enjoy.
Days on the road. What does that mean to you?
That means you're being abused by a promoter. That means you're being taken advantage of.
It makes me think about my life for at least 30 years straight.
I mean, somebody's tired and hurting. Somebody's really tired and hurting.
We wrestle 350 days a year, and if we didn't wrestle, we didn't get paid.
I'm not sure what it means to you, 350 days, but I'll tell you what, I've been on the road maybe a hell of a lot more than that.
You get booked by a promoter, you sign a contract, and then you travel.
We do the 60 days, then get 3 days off. You know, and then start another tour. There's 3 days was your break in between tours, you know.
But a lot of people thought I was being exploited, you're being degraded and everything. I said, hey, there's people doing worse jobs than me.
You know, we were chasing a dream, you know, and we didn't mind being on the road.
Maybe it's a sickness, I don't know, but it's it's a good sickness.
You'll be maybe in St. Louis tonight. Tomorrow you might be in California. And it absolutely destroyed your home life.
I used to hate not being home for kids' birthdays.
Me and Flair would be in a hotel room, and there'd be 35 girls that came up to see us, and we picked the one we wanted.
3 a night was my limit. I mean, sometimes I thought about 4, but then, I mean, unprotected sex, there's no telling. Things could go wrong, starting with children.
Don't talk about that.
Riding down the road, doing 8 balls of cocaine.
I would take a lot of downers, but the next morning at 8 o'clock or 7:30, I'd hit my speed. I'd drop some speed, testosterone, Dianabol, a Decadurable, and old school steroid stuff.
I wrestled an hour every night, and I sweated it all out. And then I went and started drinking again.
But a wrestler like myself never went off of steroids because I had to maintain this physique because I was on television. That I drew so much money for them, they kept me there for 22 years.
It was a show of shows when he had, I used to call it geeks, freaks, and midgets.
Yep,
you know?
geeks, freaks, midgets, and bears.
And we were all freaks.
I never believed I was a superstar. I was a performer.
If anybody doesn't think professional wrestlers are athletes, you know, they got something coming. We were always hurt. I mean, I've got 2 herniated discs.
I had a total hip replacement.
My shoulder is totally messed up.
My spine started to collapse. I lost 4 inches of height.
My rotator cuff is messed up.
And then the ankles went. The ankles collapsed.
Something was hurt, we tape it up, and we keep moving.
And I contracted hepatitis C from the commingling of blood.
But a good back rub from a young lady always helps pain.
So I've been blessed with good genes. Maybe that's how I survived all those years of pro wrestling.
I loved every minute of the business. And if you didn't like me, it's too bad. I even hated promoters.
Rock and roll, strut, throwing, slam, jam, moving, grooving, awesome boss, main spade, and all points in between, working hard, playing harder. That's how we do it.
Would I take the same path as I did? I probably would.
No regrets. I loved everything I did. I actually wish I could do it all over again.
Maybe I would ask for more money.
It is nothing else I can say that I loved it.
Oh, Fulvio's in it for real.
All right, and that's 350 days, folks. Please support it at Indie, I-N-D-I-E, G-O, Indiegogo.com. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, support true indie cinema, and we do appreciate it. And Steve, tell us about the radio show, where the folks can listen to it, and the archives.
Thanks. Every new show is Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at planetludwig.com. But as soon as it starts at 6, it's immediately archived. So if you tune in at 6:05, you'll get the beginning of the show. You won't miss anything.
Right.
And I know your show is on Wednesday nights.
Wednesdays at 7.
Legendsradio.net.
7 Eastern Standard.
Yep. I wanted to mention about, quickly, the 350 days. You know, we've had James Arena, the author of the first Legends of Disco.
Right.
And that book is kind of like the Bible of disco music. It's become, this documentary is going to be the wrestling documentary.
The Gone with the Wind of
yeah.
old school wrestling documentaries. They already interviewed 35 legends, and there's going to be a lot more. So if you love old school wrestling, check it out.
Can't wait. I don't know if they have, I think 2015 they projected it should be
We're hoping for January 2015 to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at the, we're heading towards the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always good to
luck
get
with
help.
it.
Thank you, thank you. And you're thinking about doing a horror film, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be called the Steve Ludwig.
Yeah, the Steve Ludwig story.
Life story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yes, horror is my favorite genre. And with your background in movies, as the associate producer of The Wrestler and Teresa Sario documentary, I asked you for some advice, and you kindly said you'd help me make my horror movie. And I'm going to start. We're going to start writing the screenplay together, and horror movie is in the works.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah,
it should be
I love horror,
a lot of
so
fun.
finally.
Yeah, I grew up on Hammer with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee,
Yep.
and I always liked horror.
Curse of Frankenstein.
Even the Universal with Karloff and Lugosi.
Absolutely, and Lon Chaney Jr.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and even going back to The Silence with Lon Chaney Sr.
Yeah, and he played Hunchback
Phantom
of
of the
Notre Dame
Opera.
too. Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah,
That was
sure,
a bunch
sure.
yeah.
What I don't like is the Friday the 13th kind of slasher stuff, which is just brutal for the sake of being brutal.
Yeah.
No art to it.
I don't mind that.
Really? Okay. Well, we agreed to disagree.
Yeah, we agreed to disagree, and my horror movie is going to be all slashers. No. There'll be a nice little medium there.
All right, and I just want to remind everybody that May 31st, they could check us out at the America's Championship Wrestling at AmericanWrestling.com. That's going to be in Wall Township, New Jersey. Right. Teddy Hart from the Hart family is going to be there. Nicole Bass, who was on Legends TV last week.
A memorable
many
appearance.
others. Melissa Coates has been on Legends TV. Colorful people. May 31st. AmericanWrestling.com. They could check out the website. And I'll also be at the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame June 21st with Nicole Bass and Jimmy Snooker and some others will be in our party. So, Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner is going to be with us, so it's going to be great.
People can find that info on your Facebook page.
Yeah,
and all over.
You can find everything, legends.tv.net, legendsradio.net, Evan Ginzburg, Facebook page, etc., so on. And without further ado, we're going to take a brief time out, and when we come back, we're going to have a tremendous rhythm and blues singer, Ms. Irene Renee. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is one of the largest suppliers in the world and your #1 resource for top quality, affordable tattoo and piercing supplies. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is the #1 supplier of tattoo inks in the world with more than 200 products including Mom's Ink, Philadelphia Eddie's Traditional Inks, Paolini Sacred Color Inks, and more. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply, your one-stop shopping destination for great service, best prices, and top quality supplies. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are undeniably distinctive, selected for their unique, memorable flavor. Coney Island Carlo's vintage wines and premium spirits are delivered to you in beautifully designed bottles featuring limited edition artwork. Coney Island Carlo's vintage wines and premium spirits are available at affordable prices in fine restaurants, bars, and liquor stores. Or check www.coneyislandcarlo.com for availability.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
All right, and we are back, and we are joined by a beautiful, talented R&B singer based out of where? New York?
I live in Yonkers now.
Yonkers,
Yeah,
New York.
I've been in Yonkers for a long time.
Ms. Irene Renee.
Yes.
And the first thing that I noticed, which is very distinctive, is the Ms. I was a big fan of Sarah Vaughan, and she was always Miss Sarah Vaughan.
Okay.
And why the Ms?
Just to, I guess, get some distinction around my name and, you know, to, I don't know, be different a little.
Okay.
No, nothing, you know, right,
Absolutely.
Miss Irene Renee, you know.
But it's it adds an element of class and elegance. I think that's great.
Okay. Well, I made a right choice, right?
Absolutely. It's very distinctive. And you've been compared to Cassandra Wilson and Jill Scott. This is pretty serious
Business,
flattery.
right?
So are they your influences? Who are some of your influences?
Yeah, well, I have to say a lot of my influences were from gospel music. Mm-hmm. So I grew up in Detroit. So I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
So I will say one person, because I'm an alto. So a lot of singers out there, sopranos and things like that. So I had no one to really craft my skills around. So Anita Baker was like the one that when she came out, I really took note to her style and tried to create a sound around her, along with the
Anita Baker
background.
has that Sarah Vaughan kind of elegance and
Yes.
the vocal, you know, she goes from high to low.
Yes,
and-
she does. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm a big
I couldn't
fan.
do it completely, but you know, but she was a
You
great
sounded
influence.
pretty good in sound check,
Oh,
Irene.
thank you,
You're being
thank you.
humble. What a
Oh my
voice
goodness,
you have.
Thank you so much.
And
I
later in the
appreciate
show,
that.
you're going to perform for us,
Yes.
so that'll be great. And tell us about some of the highlights of your career.
Well, everything right now, I've been singing for a while. So I won a competition back in 2012 as one of the Rising Stars jazz artists. I had a little stint at I have to remember the place. oh my goodness, Zupa's Restaurant and Lounge. They allowed me to sing there for about almost 2 years. I had my little jazz thing going on there. And then I decided, you know, well, I can't sit around and wait for a record deal, so let me get on the ball and get my album going. And so I've had some really great experiences. I opened up, well, not opened up, I sang the national anthem for 50 Cent's boxing, Big Apple Boxing back in December. So that was a huge thing. And then I was interviewed by thisis50.com. So that was huge. I've been doing a lot of things just to promote the album.
And tell us about the album.
Well, I released it back in September of 2013. I released 2 music videos with it to help promote it.
And we're going to see them.
Yes, yes. I hope everyone enjoys it. So I did it because I just couldn't sit around and wait any longer for this magic thing to happen. So I figured I better take my career, my musical career, into my own hands and get my album out there. So it's been a real joy. It's been a challenge. I understand why people wait for record deals. Right. Because it is quite expensive to keep it going. So, you know, you do all the promo shows. I like to say, you know, back in the day, people did the Chitlin circuit, right?
Sure.
So now you got to do the Chitlin circuit, you know, to, you know, whatever little club that's out there. You go out there and you sing, and, you know, you hope you're getting a new fan somewhere. So I've been doing that. But I named it Serendipitous Experience because, you know, not a lot of people were breaking down my door to give me music. And so I was cleaning up one day, and I went in my closet trying to clean out my closet, you know, that spring cleaning. And I found some music, and so it rounded out my songs on my CD. Okay. So that's a little secret behind Serendipitous Experience, you know, serendipity. You know, I found some music so I can finish my album.
I was telling you earlier about Avery Sunshine, who pretty much said the same exact thing you said when I saw her live, and she just blew me away. And she's playing Lincoln Center this summer. You know, and she's not a kid; she's in her late 30s, I would say, and you know, she put her own career together, and sometimes independent artists really, it's a struggle in the beginning.
It is. Well, I'm feeling that struggle.
Yet you have control. So I guess there is that, you know, you give and take, right? You don't have to really take.
You don't have to worry about, you know, you hear all the scary stories about getting signed, and then your project is put on the shelf.
Exactly, and the record label goes out of business and it never gets released.
Absolutely.
You hear so many horror stories. At least now you have control.
Have control, and that's good. That's good. Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about the first video?
Feeling Good. That's the single from the album. It is an inspirational song. I want to uplift people. That I feel very proud about that particular song because, you know, you can listen to it with your child no matter the age. You know, you don't have to turn down the radio if you're in the car and your child is there. So I'll tell you a little story about it. I teach, right? So at one point I was substitute teaching, and I was substitute teaching for a preschool class, and so there was a little 4-year-old boy, and so I gave him the assignment that the teacher gave, and so he looked up at me and he said, "I ain't doing that." I said, "How does a 4-year-old get to tell you what they're not going to do?" So I was like, "Oh my God!" So I went home and I thought about it, and I said, "What if, as adults, we just took that kind of attitude with life, and no matter what you experienced, you said, I'm not going to get down about it." And just, you know, live life and not sit on the sidelines and live, you know. So I wrote that song.
And speaking of adults, you're an adult education teacher.
Yes, I
Tell us a little about that.
I love it. You know, I fell in love with teaching. My background in trying to find myself has been a really interesting experience. I started going for my master's. I started studying psychology. I was working in corporate America for many moons, and I decided enough is enough. And I went back to school to study psychology, and it was a very expensive bill to learn about who I am. So, and in that moment, I said, okay, well, you know what? The bills aren't stopping, so let me go out and teach. And so I started substitute teaching, and I started subbing for long-term sub-assignment, teaching math for 7th and 8th graders. And I realized that I love teaching math. And so the 7th and 8th graders, oh my goodness, they challenged me. So I was like, okay, I want to still teach, but what other venue can I teach? And so someone told me about the adult education program in Yonkers. And so I've been there for several years, and I absolutely love doing that. So You know,
There you
that's
go.
a well-rounded me. I get to sing, you know, I get to teach, and,
That's
you know.
beautiful. And I want to give a shout out to the Office of Adult and Continuing Education in New York. I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and it's a great program, free
Yes.
classes throughout New York.
Yeah.
But without further ado, Feeling Good. Check it out, folks. Enjoy.
I'm headed out to have some fun, sit in the sun. Maybe I'ma meet someone today. I'm headed out to soak up some rays. Today is my day. Feels like I hit the lottery. Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna sit around here with my smile sitting upside down, crying about what ain't right with life. Sitting on the sidelines, letting life pass me by. No, I ain't doing that. Letting life pass me by. No, I'm feeling too good for that. Letting life pass me by. Tell me what good is that? Letting life pass me by. Come on, put on your wings and fly with me. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Can't nobody mess with me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm feeling good. So good, good, so good. I'm feeling like a queen. I'm taking in pure atmosphere. I have no fear. These tears I cry are joyful tears. Yeah. I'm walking on the promenade, thanking my God that though life is hard, He's my staff and ride. So I ain't gonna sit around here with my smile sitting upside down, crying about what ain't right with life. Sitting on the sidelines, letting life pass me by. No, I ain't doing that. Letting life pass me by. No, I'm feeling too good for that. Letting life pass me by. Tell me what good is that? Letting life pass me by. Come on, put on your wings and fly, 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 fly with me. The stars are aligned and my horoscope says I'm fine, so I know I'm gonna be alright. Be alright. There's a fire deep down inside my soul keeps on lighting. I'm a fighter, growing wiser every day. Good, I'm feeling good, feeling good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm feeling good, so good, good, so good. I'm feeling like a queen. I ain't gonna let nobody, can't nobody steal my joy, no. Oh, you ain't strong enough to take it. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm feeling good, y'all. What you feel like? I'm feeling good, yeah. What you feeling like? Yeah, I'm feeling good. Oh, what you feeling like? I'm feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. How you doing?
All right. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
You have that Jill Scott kind of feel without being a copy. You have your own sound, your own style. It's awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
thank you.
Where was that shot, Irene?
Everything so far has been done in Yonkers. So downtown Yonkers, the riverfront. And then also give a shout out to Louisa. She has a boutique in Bronxville, a woman's boutique. So that I love the beginning part because it's just you don't have to do anything. It just is all the colors and the clothes and everything. So you don't have to think too much about video. So part of it was shot in Bronxville at the boutique. Wheezy D's is what it's called, and then the balance of it. Oh, and also the Palisades.
Oh,
right, they have that big contraption. Oh my God, it was so fun and scary. So I was like, you know, what can I do to represent, you know, taking life by the reins and doing something that was scary.
And speaking
even though you're harnessed.
And speaking of great videos, we're going to see another one.
Yes.
Pick Up the Phone.
Yes.
So you want to give us a little background before we start?
Yes. That one is very near and dear to my heart. All my songs I wrote. The lyrics and the music, of course, was given to me. Very personal. It's about love and love lost. The video is a little different because it has a happy ending.
All right. Why don't we see
My
it?
particular thing, the happy ending is that I'm here and I survived it.
All right.
So you don't have to cry for me. I made it.
All right. Pick Up the Phone, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. Check it out.
Every night and day, I just wanna say how much I love you, how much I love you. It's a shame that we couldn't make it through the storms of life and the dead of night. I'm all alone, so pick up the phone and call me. Pick up the phone and dial my number. Tell me you miss me and come on over, come on home, babe. Just come back home. Show up at my door, no need to say sorry. I've had enough hurt in this drive, driving me crazy. Oh, just come back home. With every tear I cry, I just can't deny how much I miss you, how much I miss you. The stresses of life got us down and did not start pouring love around, but I'm still not through with you. So pick up the phone, let's talk about it. Pick up the phone and dial my number. Tell me you miss me. Come on over, come on home, babe. Just come back home. Show up at my door, no need to say sorry. I've had enough hurt in this drive, driving me crazy. Oh, just come back home. Pick up the phone and dial my number. Come on home, baby. Pick up the phone and dial my number. Oh yeah. I cry at night, waiting for the phone to ring. This silence is killing me inside. Checking my phone ID, checking my text, checking the something.
Hey, baby.
Pick up the phone. Hey. Can you hear me?
I miss you.
Can you hear me, baby? I need you back in my life. Pick up the phone. Come home, baby. This is where you're supposed to be. Pick up the phone.
There you go. Beautiful, elegant music. Ms. Irene Renee,
Thank you.
please tell the viewers how they could get in touch with you, any upcoming gigs, social media.
Yes, I'm performing tonight, New Day Associates in Newark, New Jersey at the Marriott Hotel, so you can swing by there tonight. Have another show next Saturday, but all my shows you can check out my website, www.missirenerenee.com for all my shows,
And spell Renee.
all the listings.
Spell Renee.
Oh, Renee.
There you go.
Yes, and so before I leave,
Oh,
You a
thank
fun
you.
time?
Oh,
Thank
thank you so
I'm
much.
for
Thank you
you.
so much.
Yes.
And we want everybody to support this. Quality
yes.
music, indie artists, support indie everything. Thank you so much for
Thank
appearing
you
on
so
Legends
much.
TV.
Thank you.
And you're going to be back later with a live set, which we're very excited about. And without further ado, we're going to take a brief break. And when we come back, another great singer-songwriter in Terry McCarthy. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is one of the largest suppliers in the world and your #1 resource for top quality, affordable tattoo and piercing supplies. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is the #1 supplier of tattoo inks in the world with more than 200 products including Mom's Ink, Philadelphia Eddie's Traditional Inks, Paolini Sacred Color Inks, and more. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply, your one-stop shopping destination for great service, best prices, and top quality supplies. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are undeniably distinctive, selected for their unique, memorable flavor. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are delivered to you in beautifully designed bottles featuring limited edition artwork. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are available at affordable prices in fine restaurants, bars, and liquor stores. Or check www.coneyislandcarlo.com for availability.
YesWeCare.net is a 501c3 charity that provides help to veterans and their families. Please visit YesWeCare.net and donate in any way you can by purchasing our beautiful frame prints or relaxation CDs and DVDs, even smooth jazz CDs. YesWeCare.net. Remember, our troops are on their way home. They need all the support they can get. YesWeCare.net.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware.
We have 3 of the largest showrooms of safes on display and in stock. You can see and touch them in person instead of browsing a catalog. We carry gun and rifle safes, burglary safes, jewelry safes, fire rated from a half hour to 2 hour. Famous name brands.
We sell Gardol.
We sell AMSAC.
The new AMSAC touchscreen.
If you're ever in need of a safe, think Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware. Right, Lockie?
That's right, Alan.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. And yours truly was a club booker for many years, and I booked a club called Gizzy's down in the West Village. And one of the finest singer-songwriters to appear at the venue was our next guest, Terry McCarthy, who has a new CD, The Charm. And how are you, Terry?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a while. Good to see you again.
It's great to see you. Thanks for...
You're a very respected songwriter, and tell us a little about your background.
Well, I've always loved music since I was a child, and you know, being a little kid in the 60s, there was such a wealth of music all around. And I was seventh of eight children, so I had all the influences of my older brothers and sisters passed down.
Tell us some of them.
Well, you know, it's funny. My brother Jack, he used to remind me when Frank Zappa was a doo-wop artist. So that span of, so I remember, you know, any kind of nursery rhymes that I heard later on in life were totally unrecognizable to me. But anything, you know, the music I heard in the bassinet was doo-wop and early rock and roll and Buddy Holly and the Everlys and, you know.
I'm sure Steve could relate to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, and as soon as I got a chance, I tried to write and play. And, you know, there's nothing like an 8-year-old writing a broken-hearted love song.
Yeah.
I worked on my craft a little bit after that, but...
And speaking of craft, we're going to see one of your videos now. And
okay.
Set it up for us.
Well, which one are we going to see?
We're going to see Attack of the Monsters.
Okay, Attack of the Monsters is actually the name of a really awful, wonderful Gamera Japanese science fiction film. And I remember being impressed by a young woman, and that's the thought that came to mind. She was as cool as this old, you know, Japanese sci-fi movie. You know, it's one with the badly dubbed stuff. And then
I'm a huge Godzilla fan.
All right,
We're excited he's coming back next week.
Oh yeah, I hear the
go.
movie's going to be great. But and then what happened is later on, the actual film of Attack of the Monsters became public domain. So a fan of mine created the music video that features the actual film Attack of the Monsters.
All right, awesome. Attack of the Monsters, ladies and gentlemen.
She acts, oh man, it's like Attack of the Monsters. She does this hip thing with her hand, colliding in public at night. Just heard from a Wednesday, which we're the same prescription for my mental health. I see, I understand, but I really don't care. Then she smiles, I'm a JPL with the monitors blasting. Inside her eyes, spin twice a second I know it is midtown, the sky is flannel, and we are walking electric eye Joe, and she winces, and it says something far funny. I wish I only could keep pace. My heart beats counterpoint to her face, that face.
We are back, and it's not often that you see Gamera in a music video. So much respect. Much respect.
Thank you.
I have to jump in here, Evan. First of all, I love the song.
Thank you.
A lot of British pop
influence in that number, sure.
I have my Beatles shirt on today.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
One-hit wonders. But I understand, we were talking before, your family has a couple Beatle connections.
Absolutely. My father was on the detail when the Beatles first came to that fateful day at Kennedy Airport. So he was there for all that for that madness. And he was, you know, he was very concerned as a policeman that there were so many young people jammed into a corner where they were. So it's more of a public safety thing. But he said the fellows were, you know, the lads were, you know, very pleasant to him and nice, and they liked him. And they actually thought that all the people were there to see someone else, as if the president was at the, you know. So they were overwhelmed as well. But the other connection, sadly, I grew up in a community called Breezy Point, and in the next bungalow to ours, there was a family called the Palmers. And Tony Palmer grew up to become a policeman as well. But sadly, he was the policeman that was called to answer the call at the Dakota. So John Lennon died in his arms on the way to the hospital. So the first cop John Lennon met and the last cop he met lived right next door to each other.
Isn't that something?
So,
I obviously a sad memory. What does Tony remember about that?
I didn't. He doesn't speak of it. And so, but you know, that was the environment that I grew up in. You know, the Beatles and the Stones and the Kinks and all the stuff from Motown and the stuff from, you know, Stax Volt. The music was non-stop, and it was all top notch. And you know, it's just amazing. I just saw a documentary about the Wrecking Crew, the group of musicians that, you know, and then one I have, the Muscle Shoals one is incredible. I mean, it was really like a little shack somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and the musicians just came from around.
See, those Southern musicians, it was a melting pot. There was gospel influences, country influences, rock influences, rhythm and blues, obviously, and it was a beautiful mix. I loved High Records, Al Green's label, with Syl Johnson and Willie Mitchell. You know, those Southern musicians were unbelievable.
Right, and when CeeLo had one of his first hits, you could absolutely hear that it was like, let's do something like High Records. Let's try to emulate that sound, you know.
Absolutely.
So, but all the craft, and it's really beautiful. So, you know.
To this day, I say that the greatest musical experience I ever had was I went down to Al Green's church in Memphis, and it was just, you can't even imagine what that experience was like. It was like you were exhausted. You were drained emotionally, physically.
Right.
I mean, it was just beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Al Green's Full Gospel Tabernacle Church, I believe it's called. I forget the exact name, but there's a documentary, The Gospel According to Al Green. It's in there. And, yeah. So we're going to see another video of yours, Lonely Weekend. Why don't you set that up for us?
This is from my the first one was from the first album, the first CD. Second one is from my second album that's called Wait a Second. And these are all available on iTunes if you like to check them out. Lonely Weeknight was actually, it was one of the songs that come instantly, almost all finished. And I was literally I lived in Hoboken for a while, and I was riding the bus home from Hoboken, and I looked out, and there was a young woman bundled against the rain walking home on a Tuesday night. And I went back to my apartment, and I wrote the song out. And then I was lucky enough to work with a fantastic theater person named Jane Stein, does a lot of productions in the city. And she had Victorian puppets, very large puppets. And I saw them, and I always wanted to use them in a video. And she made the video of Lonely Weeknight.
So we went from Gamera to puppets.
Yes.
Interesting artist, Terry. Interesting artist. Check it out, folks.
Another empty Tuesday night. She pushes herself along with all her frail might. And every street seems to be named alone. And she can't for the life of her remember why she's even going home. On this lonely weeknight, by the rainy street light. It's a lonely weeknight, yeah, it's a dark and a cold, cold place. Promised he would never ever go. All the brilliant friends can say is it just goes to show single rope where there used to be hooks for two. She snapped it off, trying to take it down on it. There's nothing you can do. It's just a lonely weeknight. It's just a rainy street light. It's a lonely weeknight, yeah. It's a dark and a cold, cold place. And then she asked me if every promise was broken. Does that mean every kiss was a lie? Up the stairs and through the door, she hangs on to believe, and she'll find some love like that once more. But I thought of him in the tears and the raindrops start. If it's any consolation, you're tonight's millionth broken heart. It's just a lonely weeknight. It's just a rainy street light. It's a lonely weeknight, hell, it ain't the end of the world.
All right. Lonely Weeknight. Beautiful, beautiful work, and very unique video as well.
Thank you very much.
Very, very excited to showcase that for a worldwide audience.
Thank you very much, Evan. Thanks for all your help.
Oh, no problem. And please tell us about some of your upcoming gigs. And
Well, I'm very excited. There is going to be a festival in New Jersey, in Montclair, which has a fantastic music scene. Very inclusive, very open, but some wonderful players. And it's going to be at Tierney's Tavern, which is a great proponent and help to the musicians in the community. And there'll be 3 stages, 17 bands, and the Tierney's a foot in the bill for everyone. So it's going to be open with food trucks, and it's on May 31st, and it's on Valley Road, Montclair. And really, some of the best people, the Porchistas are playing, Burn and the Brights are playing. I know I'm going to Accidental Seabirds, Thomas Wesley Stern. If I've forgotten anybody, I'm very sorry, but May 31st, Tierney's. It's going to be a great, great, great show, great day of music.
And please plug any social media, websites.
Well, I'm very excited about my new album, The Charm, and all 3 of my albums are available on iTunes. You could just punch in Terry McCarthy, and it'll take you to my albums, and I'd love if you download them, because it's very nice to get those checks from CD Baby in the mail.
There you go.
Very nice. So
support Terry McCarthy, support indie music, folks. And happy birthday. Yesterday was your birthday,
That's
I believe?
right. Thank you very
There you
much.
go. And let me just briefly throw this out there. You're one of these artists who only get better as you get a little older.
Oh,
is
thank you.
there ageism in the music industry, do you feel?
Absolutely. Well, in the mainstream pop industry, absolutely. But as far as being a songwriter, I don't think as much. But that's another thing, if I can harken back to the Montclair scene, is that there are older players that do it for fun. There are older players that have had careers and are trying to reignite themselves, and they're very young players. And everyone joins together. It's a really beautiful experience. There's been, it was really great working for you at Gizzy's when we had the opportunity to play, because we really felt we were supported as artists.
Oh,
and other
thank you.
places, you don't feel that, supported by the house and the promoters.
Yeah, like, play some covers, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Play to 90 frat kids playing beer pong.
Exactly.
Well, they'll listen.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to
And
playing later.
we appreciate you as well. And briefly tell us about who's going to be playing with you later in the show.
Well, I'm very lucky to have my nephew Devin play, who's an excellent guitar player. And, you talk about getting better as a songwriter. He's one of the main reasons, because he's always challenging me to try new venues, try different styles. So he's you'll see him. He's really wonderful guitar player.
Okay, and we will see him, and we'll see Terry McCarthy later in the show. And right after this brief timeout, we're going to have the the great Ms. Irene Renee. So don't go anywhere, folks. Legends TV will be right back.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
And now to sing the national anthem. No, I'm sorry. now to sing three wonderful songs is Ms. Irene Renee.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, this first song that I'm going to sing is by Adele. I love her, and it's called He Won't Go. Some say I'll be better without you. They don't know you like I do. Was this as far as I thought I knew? I can't bear this time. It drags on as I lose my mind. Reminded by the things I find, like no two homes left behind. Wake me up when all is done. rise until this battle's won. My dignity's become undone, but I won't go. I can do it on my own. If this ain't love, then with ease, I'm willing to take the risk. I won't go. I can do it on my own. If this ain't love, then with ease, I'm willing to take the risk. So petrified, I'm so scared to step into this fight. What if I lose my heart and fail to climb? I won't forgive me if I give up trying. I heard his voice today, I didn't know a single word he said. Now one resemblance to the man I made, just a big and broken boy instead. But I won't go, I can't do it on my own. If this ain't love, then with ease, I'm willing to take a risk. I won't go, I can do it on my own. If this ain't love, then with ease, I'm willing to take the risk. There will be times we'll try to give it up, bursting out things, no doubt. We'll almost fall apart, then burn to pieces. We'll watch them turn to dust, but nothing will ever taint us. Still love me even when he's free? Or will he go back to the place where he will choose that poison? Well, it's for yesterday. He said the home of breath and sit and wait. He'll be home soon, he won't be late. He won't go, no. He can't do it on his own. If this ain't love, then what is, babe? I'm gonna take the risk. Thank you very much. This next song that I'm gonna sing is called Pick Up the Phone. You saw the video for that, so please support CD Baby, iTunes, Amazon, Spotify. Woo, this is my love song. Here we go. Every night and day, I just wanna say how much I love you. How much I love you. It's a shame that we couldn't make it through the storms of life and the dead of night. I'm all alone. So pick up the phone and call me, babe. Pick up the phone and lay down my number. Send me a message. Come on over. Come on home, babe. Just come back. Come back home. Show up at my door. No need to say sorry. I've had enough hurt in this drive, driving me crazy. Oh, listen. With every tear I cry, I just can't deny how much I miss you. How much I miss you. Oh, the stresses of life got us down and it knocked our poor love around. But I'm still not through with you. So pick up the phone, let's talk about it. Pick up the phone and dial my number. Tell me you miss me. Come on over, come on home, baby. Come back home. Show up at my door. No need to say sorry. I've had enough hurt in this drug, driving me crazy. Oh, oh, come back home. Pick up the phone. Oh, baby. Dial my number. Oh, baby, yeah. Pick up the phone and dial my number. Oh, yeah, yeah. I cry at night, waiting for the phone to ring. This silence is killing me inside. Checking my caller ID, checking my text, checking to see if you thought about me, baby, 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 baby. Oh, I cry. Oh, yeah. I cry at night, waiting for the phone to ring. Yeah. The silence is killing me inside. Checking my caller ID, checking my text, checking to see if you thought about me, baby. Oh, yeah. If there's someone out there that you haven't spoken to in a while, just pick up the phone. Call them and let them know that you love them. All right? Don't be so mean. And it's Mother's Day tomorrow, right? So pick up the phone and call your mother. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you. Shirley Haynes, I have to get that plug, right? Shout out to my mama. All right, this next song I'm going to sing. Y'all can stand up. Clap with me, right? It's called Feeling Good. All right? I want y'all to feel good. Y'all feeling good? All right. Hey, come on. Clap your hands right now. I enjoyed this, Evan. Thank you. And Steve. Where's Steve? Thank you. Give a shout out to Carmen out there who hooked us up, right? Here we go. All right. First verse. I'm out to have some fun. Sit in the sun. Maybe I'ma meet someone today. I'm heading out to soak up some rays. Today is my day. Feels like I hit the lottery. Yeah. I ain't gonna sit around here with my smile sitting upside down, crying about what ain't right in life. Sitting on the sidelines, letting life pass me by. No, I ain't doing nothing.
my joyful tears. Yeah. Listen, I'm walking on the promenade, thanking my God that though life is hard, He's my staff and ride. So I ain't gonna sit around here with my smile sitting upside down, crying about what ain't right for life, sitting on the sidelines, letting life pass me by. No, I ain't doing that, letting life pass me by. No, I'm feeling too good with that, letting life pass me by. Tell me what good is that, letting life pass me by. Come on, put on your wings and fly, 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 fly with me. The stars are aligned and my horoscope says I'm fine. So I know I'm gonna be alright. There's a fire deep down inside, my soul keeps on lighting. I'm a fighter, growing wiser every day. I'm feeling good. Ain't nobody messing with me. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling good, so good. Come on. I'm feeling like a queen. Here we go. I ain't gonna let nobody steal my joy, no. Oh, you ain't strong enough to take it. Yeah. Come on. I'm feeling good, y'all. Yeah. What you feel like, Evan? I'm feeling good, yeah. What you feel like, Terry? I'm feeling good. Oh, what you feel like? I'm feeling good, feeling good. Check this out. How you doing, Soundman? You all right? All right, thank you so much. I so enjoyed this. Thank you. Can I leave now?
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our 2 offices. Thank you.
And now, with his nephew, Devin McCarthy, Mr. Terry McCarthy.
Thanks.
Articles they said would provide the concrete proof, but all of the lines and the letters fly by the way. She is the only constant truth. Is this style of by any chance at all? Is this style of by any chance? Is this style of by fight, and 100,000 lovers who played there still cold and dead tonight. Oh, but a heart is pure streaming. Everybody tries to tell me that I should be a cool cat about this, but I really don't understand the kind of thing that I feel. And I know when I'm touched by those palms of sadness, I know everything here is completely red. Is this that love by any chance at all? Is this that love by any chance? Style of by any chance at all? Is this style of by any chance at all? By any chance at all? Take a walk by myself from the village, heading south. down to the harbor again. You live long enough and you never really walk the city streets completely alone. Then all those Gotham ghosts, they like to tag along. It's okay, they can stay. It's Saturday, it's 3:30, it's freezing, so there's no one around, which is good because we're gaining quite the crew. I'm amazed at the detail I remember about how you used to wave your hands around. And all those Gotham ghosts, they like to tag along. It's okay, they can stay. But oh, how I wish I could have helped you, my poor forgotten, murdered friend. Where did you go? Where had I been? When I'm by the water at night, I feel connected to all time. It's where the past and the future secretly kiss. But I never thought you'd resonate so strongly in all these stone walls. And all those Gotham ghosts, they like to tag along. It's okay, they can stay. And all those Gotham ghosts, they like to tag along. It's okay, I want them to stay. Thank you. Don't think for a moment that I've ever really forgotten how we collided into each other and all the pain. It was a lot, and I can't count the times the pitbull of memory bit me, but I was talking to myself again when suddenly it hit me that just today I didn't even think about you. The sky was actually blue. Just today I didn't even think about you till I wrote the song about not thinking about you. You were there in a traffic jam with your wipers just waiting, and I was sitting in the rainy room just staring at the paintings. Just for a second, I thought that you might feel it, but it's taken so much time, so much effort to conceal it. Just today, I didn't think about you. The air was honestly warm. Just today, I didn't even think about you till I wrote this thinking about you song. And if there was a quote
saw you in Manhattan once at a busy intersection. And if I ever got a do-over, if I was afforded a correction, I'd undo every moment of every second of every day. And any memory of you and me would simply go away. Just today, I didn't even think about you. The city lights switch on bright. Just today, I didn't even think about you. But what am I going to do about tonight? Ah, what am I going to do about tonight? Thank you very much. It's Devin McCarthy on the guitar. I'd like to do one more for you. I want to thank the entire crew, everybody here, and thank you, Evan and Steve. Miss Irene, it's a wonderful afternoon, and I want to thank Happy Mother's Day to my mother, Ronnie McCarthy. She had 8, she's 93, and I'd like to say happy birthday to my wife, Lori, who's not 93. It's wonderful. Love you, Lori. And just a reminder that all guitars are Spanish. Boy's got a truckload of trouble and he carries it around. I've seen him dragging that thing, leaves 3 different parts of town. Words out, you can tell the dirtiest hand. We can almost taste your pain, but I've every confidence that you're right, so again. Sorrow seems to coil you till you bow. Up is kind of impossible when everything is pointing down, 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 down. For what it's worth, we love you, and that ain't likely gonna change. And I've every confidence that you're right, so again. Truckload of trouble and he carries it around. I seen him dragging that thing all over this godforsaken one-horse town. For what it's worth, we really do love you, and that ain't likely gonna change. And I've every confidence that thanks.
It's time to say goodbye. feed you sweet